Everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of Einstein Certification Series. So today I'm going to talk about dashboards, right? And not just about simple things about dashboard, but how to remove a clutter or unwanted noise from the dashboard. So you must be thinking what I'm talking about the noise, right? Because this is not a physics lecture, right? Right. So what happens is, think about a scenario, right? Someone gave you with the task to create an amazing app. Right? So you developed an app using, in an Einstein, right? And then you decided to showcase that app to, say, to sales manager or to marketing guy, right? And the important feedback, what they gave you, is around too much of information at one page, right? So what happens is that, let's say you decide to add chart component, table component, other controls, maps, and so because your intention is to provide as much information as you can, which is great, but what happens is the way our human brain works, right? We are not designed, or we are not genetically programmed to gather thousands of information at the same time, right? It might change in the future, right? I mean, some scientists can work on our gene code and change it. That's a different topic altogether, right? Sorry, I digress. So the best way to do that is to create a new page, right? So that you get to see only the relevant information belonging to that page, right? And our brain responds very efficiently to that kind of apps, right? And the person who's looking at the app will able to extract lots of information, relevant information, without being overwhelmed, right? So that's exactly what we're going to do today. And I've created one, stupid dummy app, right? And I wanted to move those few controls from one page to another page and move back and forth using a link, right? That's all I'm going to do today. Right, so first thing first, you need to register for an org. It's free to do so and very easy to do so. I've talked about zillions of times. I'm not going to go deeper into that today. So I've logged into my org. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump into this tic-tac-toe icon, and I'm going to go to Analytics Studio. I'm going to look into this demo dashboard. Let's see what it is, right? Okay. So I got these two controls, right? One is the table and one is the chart control, right? So I do not want information to be displayed the same page. I want to move this chart to a different page, and I wanted to keep this table control on a different page, right? So that the user can get an impression that, okay, first tab is for a table, a row level detail information, and other tab is for GUI based graphical user interface, right? So like every developer, right? Like if you're a web developer, or if you're someone who's into a desktop development, or whatever software development background you came from, you must be aware about a principle called KISS principle, right? Keep it simple principle. That's exactly what we're going to use it today, right? When you design a dashboard, right, you should always remember one thing. Please do not clutter every information at the same page, because it gets very annoying as well as very overwhelming for a user who will be using your app, right? Even you will get confused over the course of time, thinking, what the heck is this information? Too much stuff going on. I can't figure out, which is which, right? So we shouldn't be developing app to confuse users, right? Our main point of app development in this case is to make the life of a person who's using your app simple, right? So let's say your sales boss wants to get information about the sales figures, right? Your app should be very easy to use, first of all, and give relevant information, right? Instead of a person has to scroll back and forth, look at, so much of charts, so many maps around, so many table component, which one which, right? It shouldn't be the case, right? It should be simple. So you need to understand that. It's very important, right? This is one of the skills you will learn over the course of time as you develop more and more dashboard, right? This is very, very important skill to have, to keep your design simple, right? Anyone can make a design complicated. That's not the purposes. You should keep your design extremely simple so that anyone can use your app, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep this, take this to edit more, okay? And I'm gonna, so you can see that next to default, I will create a new page. Let's say a chart page, okay? And I will add it, right? You have a chart page here, okay? And I will rename this to table page, okay? Right? And now click here, right? When you click here, you can see you can move and add. So I will move to the page, to the chart page, okay? Right? See, it's moved, right? So I will move it up, okay? And so it's moved. So we are not adding it, right? If you add it, it will still retain the chart component to the first page, right? So let me save it, okay? And I will save it to as a demo dashboard, okay? Right now, okay, you'll say, all right, this is pretty straightforward, okay? What's so fancy about it? Okay, let's run it and we'll see the difference. Okay, now you wonder, it looks interesting, but what happened to my other page, right? Right now, if you give this to someone, right, and the person will think, I used to have a chart component. Now, what happened to that? Did you guys, remove it, or so it gets annoying for the users, right? So what you can do, so you see there's a link component. So drag it here, right? Okay, change the button title to, let's say, chart, okay? And so you can say the link to, we're not using any lenses or dashboard, we just can use the save the page in the layout. So you can choose which page you want to link it to, because what I want to do is that when you click on the chart component, it should take me to the chart page. So I should link it to the chart page, okay? Right, so that sounds pretty straightforward, right? And I will save it, okay? And now let's run it and let's see what happens. Okay, so you can click here, the chart page. It takes you to the chart page. Now we get another problem, right? So it's great, I'm in the chart page, but how to go back to my previous page, right? So you need to put a control back to link it to the previous page as well. Okay, so we're gonna do that, okay? And you're gonna go to the chart page and you can drop a link component, sorry, and you can say table page, okay, and link it to table page, right? And you can save it, okay, and go here and you can run it, okay. Right, you can take you to the chart page. Now if you wanted to go back to the table page, it takes you back to the table page. Pretty straightforward, right? So now your information is not really cluttered. You know what you're dealing with, right? So that's a pretty straightforward way to do it, right? So this is the one way you can do it, right? It's not a good idea, right, if you put a lot of components into a same page, right? Because like, as I said in the beginning, it will confuse users and makes the job of the person who's looking at the app a little more difficult, right? So it's always good to keep relevant information on the page, right? So, so you can say, oh, okay, I wanted to look at the table. So, you can go and have a look at the table page. You can so, okay, if someone is interested in the chart, they can always look at the chart. And this page belongs specifically to the chart, right? So that's all I wanted to talk about today, right? Nice and easy, pretty straightforward. It's a very important feature, right? You will think that, oh, okay, this is pretty straightforward. Yeah, it is straightforward, but it makes the job of a person either extremely difficult or very easy, right? If you ignore a basic design principle, then you will end up in designing a dashboard which is overly cluttered and clumsy, and a person will not appreciate it, right? So you might as well not develop it in the first place, right? So that's all I wanted to talk about today. So yeah, so greetings and adios from New Zealand. Take care. Bye-bye.